So, Divine, I know that you got to see the very early morning meeting between. Well, you were awake for it, I guess. The very early morning meeting between the Balar siblings, or I'm sorry, between the Resh siblings, and you decided that you wanted to go off gambling. Which, it's pretty well because you are one of the owners and proprietors of one of the biggest gambling places in Chiaroscuro.
I didn't know it got that big.
It's I mean it is fairly sizable. It is you've been kind of running this for about a year now. I don't want to like underplay your efforts, but it is growing in reputation.
Fair enough.
It is enough that yeah, it's growing in reputation. I'll give you that. While that part of your crew is out doing actually, real good question. Do you know about the plan to go and find this gift for Ferris from her dead older brother? Or I assume that everyone is going to be in some way made aware of it, but I wasn't sure that you knew about it in character right now.
I think I do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she told me.
You were at the tower. Why wouldn't they have told you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what that your plan is for later in the day. So right now you're enjoying yourself at the Bountiful Bear. No. Shaved Yedem?
Yeah, shaved Yedem.
Okay.
It's Cordial Crane, shaved Yedem,
Ox Dragon Inn.
Ox Dragon Inn, yeah.
Yeah, the Cordial Crane used to be the Bountiful Bear.
Yeah.
You are hanging out at the Shaved Yedem. The tables are full from both people who had been conscripted into the Wild Hunt and are staying at the Ox Dragon Inn, who are letting off a little bit of steam, as well as the crap tons of extra criminal element that is currently in town. The bar here is the drinks are flowing. The atmosphere is jovial, to say the least. It is very everyone here is having a good time. Even the criminals and the conscripts are kind of mingling and just kind of talking, sharing stories. You know that some of the people here might have been on your side of things, like the criminal family life. A good portion of them are, if not former realm, they have tangential relations to the realm. So kind of like, being able to talk to people and maybe every now and again get news of like your third or fourth cousin, like how that they're doing back on the Blessed Isle is, it's just kind of the mood. Whatever music that you hired for this place or ambient noise like is just kind of going. And where do you think that Divine like hangs out while their gambling empire lays before them, I guess? Like what dramatic place is he in?
Yeah, Divine is definitely being the social butterfly and chameleon he is. Like, he's not brooding in his upper floor office overlooking the pit like some kingpin. He's definitely in the pit, moving and shaking around, making introductions, listening in on conversations, giving drinks to random people, just like, hey, appreciate you spending money here, bud. How's your cousin over in the realm? Stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. That definitely fits my view of Divine, as opposed to being the person who's like up on the second floor and like drumming on the the banister while they overlook their kingdom.
swirling a Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he's definitely out in the pit playing hostess with the mostest.
I would like you to make me just a blanket charisma and well, whichever one that you feel is more appropriate, either charisma or manipulation, but one of those two and socialize and just let me know which one that you're using.
Gotcha. Yeah, gonna use charisma because I'm not prying information. I'm more just being nice and seeing what falls into my lap. So I think charisma fits best.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, then charisma and socialize. I'll give you an extra 2 dice for kind of just helping describe the scene and everything with that. And then this is kind of like your this is going to be kind of like your get for kind of having your own scene on the side of like the information that you're going to kind of get from people.
Yeah.
Whether it's useful or not is going to kind of be determined by what you roll.
All right. And do I the you said the two cultures here are like Churaskiran criminals and Wild Hunt conscripts.
Yes, Wild Hunt conscripts and Chiaroscuran criminals.
All right. Would have I been in the pit for an hour?
Yeah, it's your pit. I think that you would have absolutely been in there for an hour. This is kind of your scene for what that you kind of do for the day, unless of course there's anything else you want to do before everybody else like meets back up.
Right. Gotcha. All right. In that case, I get a specialty. And I'm going to use Loquacious Courtier Technique to add 3 successes.
Okay.
9 successes.
Okay, wow, holy shit, 9 successes. Is there any specific information that you are looking to acquire? That Divine is specifically looking to get out of this regarding any of the plot lines that you are aware of?
The biggest deal to him is following the money. So he'd be listening around and kind of prying on people that he knows works near the dock area where somebody might have, rented out a warehouse recently because there's a lot of money that needs to be hidden. Or, somebody, a fixer that specializes in setting up safe houses around the area. Pretty much just listening in on people that I know keep track of things maybe better than Divine necessarily does. Like
Okay.
he's got ears, but he don't have eyes. So I'm listening in for the folks with eyes.
Okay, so to let you know about those specific things, recently the actual like port has been filled up with people who have been kind of stuck here since calibration, which is causing a lot of issues with the docks, especially since that someone a nameless faceless benefactor recently rented out a large quarter of the docks and the warehouses there, and is, according to someone, is paying in straight jade. You also know that there has been a sudden influx of realm missives coming in, and you notice specifically a lot of them with the symbol of House Regara on them. Divine, as someone who works very closely with a member of House, well, actually with 2 members of House Regara, or former members.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to have you roll for this. House Regara is the banking house of the realm.
Yeah. The Wild Hunt got racist with me. Trying to say I can't touch the white jade.
You know that the guild has been making raids on warehouses at the docks that are thought to possibly be under the the Tyranata clan's control.
Oh, that's spicy.
Very spicy. Most of the raids have been unsuccessful in the case of when there has been something there of value, but most of them have found nothing.
Well, yeah, because we're broke. We should try raiding a different clan's warehouse.
Besides that, there are a couple of other things that you hear from a couple of the local Venif merchants that are here. You hear that they are having more trouble getting out to the west. Not specifically past a archipelago out there that seems to have within the last 6 months have been raised from basically raised from the sea, and it looks like that it has kind of a lot of magical shit going on there. The specific reports that you hear is that there is an island with no bay and no port that is nothing but orichalcum.
Bruh.
Lintha are still being a massive pain in the ass and a problem. There was a rumor that during calibration, one of them might have tried to summon their god into existence, or their Yozi into existence, and that's what the people are blaming on the eclipse.
Dope. Lintha are always fun to beat up.
Oh yeah. And besides that, there have been higher than average reports of demons. Not anathema, the blanket term for demon, fae, abyssal, ghost, solar, lunar, yada yada. Specifically demons.
Weird how that works.
Right?
I have to go play some dice.
Yeah, speaking of playing dice, well, maybe not exactly playing dice, but I would like you to give me one more roll, if you would.
Yeah, man. What am I rolling?
Intelligence and bureaucracy. This dice roll is to signify how well that you've been helping run the businesses over the last couple of months, since I don't think that we ever really did that before. So I want to kind of see since we've had quite a bit of downtime, I want to see how much, if any, that you've grown.
Dope. I don't have a specialty, so I can only spend 4 motes on my bureaucracy charm. Yeah, because I've got 5 dots in bureaucracy, so I can spend up to 5 motes.
But let me guess, the bureaucracy charm is gives auto successes.
It gives auto successes and reroll 6s.
Oh shit.
Like, it's kind of dumb. 8 successes.
Holy shit. Okay, Cody. I'm going to give you an option. 8 successes for essentially the equivalent of working here and doing stuff for 6 months. I'm going to give you an option. You can either, without spending XP, up your resources 1 dot. Or you can take that dot of resources and turn it into a dot of wealth that's distributed throughout the family. Basically, you can have your own personal resources go up, or you can kind of alleviate the, oh my god, all of us are fucking broke problem.
I was getting real spicy with the what's this, all of us are broken, and they're like, it's your money too. I should make it my own dot. But no, wealth is where he would put it. Because the way Divine sees it, it's not his businesses, it's the family businesses that he's running.
Okay. Heard. Since you are putting that towards that, I'm going to, once we're done with this, I'm going to update the family, my little notes on the family to say that they have enough to get by for a bit now. I will let you know, since you have been doing that, the money that you made for everything at the end of the night, every night, without fail, whatever money that you have deemed is the family's cut disappears at night.
Uh-huh.
It is gone. You do not know where that it goes. The money just simply vanishes at night. Now, granted, this would be a process that would be going on for multiple months, which is why that I was asking about that before. And basically, you would have been informed by now that the family has ways of getting their cut.
Right. Okay, so it's disappearing from me. It's not like, oh, it's going into the family vault and then disappearing from there.
Correct.
Okay. That makes more sense. Like, man, you just talked about me giving them a dot of wealth, and then you just made it disappear. Now, that makes more sense.
This is absolutely actually giving them a dot of wealth again.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I won't look up my charms to try to find a way to track it. I'll just be like, yeah, live and let be. As long as as long as it makes it to the vault.
After a long enough time being down on the pit and doing your rounds and everything, at some point you're probably at the bar or you're hanging out with someone, and a young man comes to sit down next to you. He looks over. Hey, are you Amalar Divine?
Depends on who's asking.
Listen, man, I'm not here for any trouble. I'm a servant of the Amalar family. Your grandmother's hoping for an expedient response.
Oh, yeah, that thing that June was telling me about.
Yeah, he must have just gotten to you not too long ago. Yeah, we figured that he wasn't coming back, what with all like not being allowed and look shy anymore. But we did pass message on to him. What with him being a sorcerer and able to receive them messages.
I will be returning to the Genties as soon as humanly possible.
That's funny, what with you actually being a dragon blood and all. So, what with you not exactly being a human, when would that be?
I have contractual obligations that are currently keeping me in the city. Business that needs wrapped up. Thieves that need weeded out. As soon as I finish that, I can make it. Any kind of chokes on the word home.
So you're gonna, as soon as whatever business is keeping you stuck in the city is done, you're gonna be heading back home then.
Yeah. Yeah.
He extends his hand to you.
I walk away.
He
Just
nods.
get up and nod to him and leave.
As you're walking away, I guess to get out of sight of this guy, over the roar of the crowd, you can hear him yell, your grandmother's gonna be right pissed that you ain't coming back. Break her old heart, why don't you, Divine?
I'll be there. I just ain't decided who I'm bringing with me.
He nods and orders a drink and is just kind of there, making his presence known to you for the rest of the day so that you can't really escape your looming family responsibilities.
Ugh.
Speaking of family responsibilities, earlier in the day, I believe that Tarali was one of the only people who got a good night's sleep. considering the size of the tyrants and what would be needed for their housing, I am and training grounds and everything, I imagine that you all are probably situated just outside of the city, out on the plains, where that you can more easily have archery training or not accidentally hit a stray person by accident.
Yes, by accident.
Does Tarali wake up with the sun to start training, or well, I guess going through drills with her company, or does she like to sleep in a little bit?
The commands, hard work, and exercise is what gets the sun up. We are out there before dawn.
Ooh, understood. So, with your pre-dawn workout done and everyone resting for breakfast and everything, you are approached by your second in command, Regara Vinali. You're one of your cousins from the realm who came with you. He's an older gentleman. He has seen many skirmishes. He used to be in charge of a Talon back when that you all were more realm aligned. I believe that's about 10 to 20 men. So he was in charge of a decent amount of people before that you all decided to make the tyrants. He came with you kind of as an advisor and also potentially from, your family as kind of, let's keep an eye on what's going on. And he approaches and sits down with you for breakfast. And, cousin, so, did you make any good, resolutions for this calibration?
Just to stay on top of my game and continue to grow stronger.
Would that I could do the same. And as I mentioned before, he is quite a bit older than you, and also notably mortal. So, like, he's probably a guy who looks in probably like his mid to late 40s. He's still in fighting shape, but there's definitely, as that he pats his loose fitting armor, he kind of like pats at a forming belly on him. Would that I could do the same, cousin. So, not to sound so not to sound ungrateful for what that you've done for, well, the rest of all of us here, myself included. How do you feel about and he kind of gestures towards Chiaroscuro, the clan that we've signed up with now?
You said, what did I think of them?
Yes.
They seem to be a good, in a relative term, lot.
So less of the politicking and infighting back on the Blessed Isle that we may have been used to.
They definitely seem loyal to their group and good in that way, which, as you know, is very important.
Loyalty to one's family is one of the highest things that we are taught in primary school.
Why do you ask?
Well, it's been almost half a year since that we joined up with them after they helped break us out of the Atonement. I figured that by this point our debt to them is more or less paid. If you wanted to, Commander, we could move on and do something else.
Well, as we both know, never felt particularly indebted, as the prison was wonderful housing, free lodging. But I feel like being here has served a good purpose. I didn't join out of obligation or indebtedness. It felt right to do something on my own outside of Regara now that I could be free to do so.
Fantastic. I was wondering exactly where that where that you were guiding us. And I can say for certain that this is a choice that, while that we were still on the Isle, that I did not see coming. But I think that it's going to be for the best for all of us. Plus, their recruitment parameters for this criminal endeavor, the clans and what have you, do tend to align very well with the people that you like to recruit as well. You know, those that fall between the cracks.
Yes, I've noticed there's been a few who seem to have kind of meandered into our ranks. And I'm fine with that. That it works well.
He nods and continues eating for a little bit. I'm glad to hear it. It's good to know that we might have a new place to call home and a new family. Though, I do pose a hypothetical if you don't mind. Just as any good commander should think of all the strategies before them. What would you do if we could find a way for House Regara to forgive transgressions and let us back in?
I think we both know that wouldn't be realistically possible, outside of an extremely unusual turn of events. Unfortunately, things were brought to light, and the family made the choice that they had to do for themselves. And I'm okay with that. So I don't think anything would change. But, ultimately, I still have loyalty and love for the family.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. You can't turn your back on family. You can despise them sometimes, but you really shouldn't turn your back on them all the time. Especially not House Regara. Very poor choice of things to do to to turn your back on them. But since we're here, may as well make the best of it. After all, I'm definitely able to get a better tan here than in the Blessed Isle. He kind of pats his legs and starts eating again. As everything kind of goes on, just a little bit after breakfast time, a runner bearing basically a message from the from the headquarters. This guy kind of comes running in, and he's just like, oh man, like sweat dripping from his face, and he's just like, Regara, it's Raleigh. Message for you from the headquarters.
You should probably do a few more laps so the next time you won't be so winded, but thank you for the message.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best. And he kind of just squats down. And when you open up the letter, it is a very quickly penned letter, basically informing you of the intent to go explore the underside of Chiaroscuro, for a better lack of a term. Basically, getting you on board with where the whole crew's going to meet up. Since I don't think that you would have been keen to that information.
Marvelous and wonderful timing.
Right?
I was just going to say, well, Benali, it looks like we have places to be and things to do.
Yes, so it seems. So, my question for you, Michaela. You guys are going to be, after this little bit, going on an adventure. Are you going to bring anyone with you? A small contingent of the tyrants? Vanali, who does not currently have a character sheet, but I can probably make up one for Heroic Mortal in like a week or so. Asking any NPCs that you know that are coming along. Is there anyone that you want to do that for? And obviously, I think the same should apply to Divine as well.
With the recent uptick of riffraff and outsiders in town, I feel like I'd probably travel with a small group. Obviously, Vanali will just stay behind. He'll be my second command to keep everybody else in line and working and doing the general security things that we do for the family. But I would probably take Brigadier General Vitali and one of her talons that she's in charge with. So approximately 120 something men, 120, 130-ish.
Okay, that is quite a lot of people to be going down into the underside of Chiaroscuro. Not a bad thing, by the way. To let you know, the underside of Chiaroscuro is heavily unexplored outside of the undermarket, and sometimes people just go missing there because it's a city that's built on top of a bunch of first age ruins.
Good, so we'll have a nice sweet team.
Right. So you are going to be taking, you said Brigadier General Vitali with you, as well as their command? Or is that Vanali that you took? Because I think that we have a lot of names that are very similar now.
So it is Vitali. So second in command is Vanali. He is staying behind. Below him is three cousins, Manali, Lasali, and Vitali. The three cousins.
And I assume that none of them are exalted in any kind.
They are not.
Okay. Good to know for now. Is there anything else that you want to do before, I guess, getting your people ready to go on this expedition?
Kind of a weird one, actually. So Charlie would send one person out on kind of a secret mission. She's already copied some things down and made some notes, but she has an anathema book in her possession that came to be a couple of episodes ago that she's going to send off in secret and send that out. But other than that, she just gets her command in order.
How long do we plan on being underground?
That's a good question to work out between all of you.
Dope. The reason I ask is I want to communicate with June to that I will pay him a hefty reward if he comes and finds me if I don't get back with him after X number of days that we should be gone. AKA, if we get into trouble, I will pay June and the boys to show up and get us out of trouble.
Okay, how many days do you want that to be?
How many days we planning on staying going, guys? Shouldn't be any longer than a week, right?
Yeah, I figured a week should be fine.
Yeah, so if I don't make contact with June in a week, I'll give him a good little payment for finding us.
To answer your question, Britt, it is not uncommon to have siblings with rhyming names. Also, they're not siblings, they're cousins. Okay, so there is one last thing to do before that we can get going. Before that we can get onto the adventure proper that I've been hinting at for, well, since Britt took Artifact 5. Technically the start of Act 2 for anyone actually listening to this in the order that I'm actually recording it. And that specific thing is setting the ghost of Resh Balar to rest. Now, my question is, you guys do have kind of a monk with you. Do you want him to do it? Or do you guys want to just kind of leave that up to the family to handle?
I said I don't really have a preference.
Is it possible to walk somebody through the basic rites of setting a spirit to rest?
Yes, it is. It's actually fairly easy.
Then I'm making Britt do it.
Oh shit.
Yup.
That's a choice, considering that Britt is currently basically kill on sight or capture on sight.
I'll figure it out. It's a respect thing. It's family. Nothing stronger than family.
Oh boy, we're going loud. Is that what this is?
Stealing a body isn't that hard.
We don't have to steal it. We're allowed to have it after the investigation's done.
Yeah, but Britt isn't allowed to be there.
Yeah.
To let you know, because Riki is an ex-monk or was taught in the ways, he knows the ways of spirits and such. The process of, well, putting someone to rest is literally cremating their body. Usually the more respect that they're given, the better chance that their spirit has to pass on into Leth and then to reincarnate. So long as that body remains, the chance of the spirit becoming a hungry ghost increases exponentially, like every day that goes by. And I cannot stress to you enough how much you do not want a hungry ghost around.
We're just kind of there already. And is Ferris allowed to be with us?
So where do you guys want to do it? Do you invite other people? What is the
I'm gonna kind of ceremony director this and ask the family who the family wants to be there. I think it'd be respectful to have Falar
Yep.
there. But I'm gonna leave it up to Britt.
What if we build him a funeral pyre on top of our glass skyscraper? Then anybody who wants can be there, and Ferris is in a safe place while laying her brother to rest.
That would work if you guys are keeping the invite list small and to the people that you can trust, not to abscond with Ferris. Then yeah, that would work. The next question is, where are you guys doing it?
On top of our skyscraper.
That is rather conspicuous.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a crime to cremate a body.
I think it should be someplace that meant a lot to Bolar.
well, for something like that, you guys would probably have to travel multiple months to the northeast to Great Forks.
It will still be fresh. A few flies, some bare bones showing, some rot, but No, I meant like in town. I guess the top of the skyscraper's fine if you're cool with it, but I don't know.
Top of the skyscraper, outside of the city.
We're not allowed to leave the city, remember?
I'll say we
Okay,
still can't leave the city.
Yeah, we can't. Fuck that.
Yeah,
He
the
was
guy
our
who
boss.
said we can't leave the city is dead.
Also, fuck that. He's our boss. We go where we want if we want to bury him.
Cody is right that the person that told you all not to leave the city is currently dead. So, follow those orders at your own discretion.
Didn't his ghost also say to, like, not leave and, like, be safe or something like that?
Something like that.
Well, that's a ghost. You can't trust ghosts.
Go ahead. Tell Ferris she can't trust her ghost brother. Go right ahead.
So someone pick a place. Someone pick a place.
Honestly, I think the top of our tower would probably be best because we're up it high, so people at ground level won't see me and only invite people that we 100% trust or can detain easily if they try something.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean it like detain easily because apparently Manami's not easy to detain when he's attacking me.
Manami is exalted now. He is not easy to detain. The man has a character sheet. You can't just detain him.
I know.
Watch me.
But I fucking can.
Only you can because he promised to give you free food for life.
Yeah. Anyway, so top of the... Now, I want to be clear to everyone. I'm not telling Ferris until we get up there that she's doing it.
Okay.
Dropping it on you. Ambush.
I need to figure out how Ferris would react to that. That's a lot that you're gonna just drop on her.
Okay, but here's the thought process, though. I'm not just being an asshole. Maybe I am out of character, but in character, I'm not. If you have to... Like Brendan just said, the amount of, like, impact and respect and detail you put into it is the key thing to getting someone to not come to get to where they need to be going. And only you can do that. I can't do it as well as you could.
Fair.
You all have decided on the place to put the body to rest while giving Ferris the proper ability to grieve. Because, a random tyrant just starting bawling at the loss of this person that they never knew would definitely draw suspicion. So you all have decided to have the funeral pyre atop the skyscraper. To note, yours is the second tallest skyscraper in Chiaroscuro. The only one that is taller is one of the few complete ones that is owned by the Delzin Tricon, the leader of Chiaroscuro. Acquiring a room in there is next to impossible. It is mostly used for family matters, so to speak. But at the top of your building, there is basically like an open air area and a small place where that you could have had this set up. I assume that with the information and everything that Riki has probably like talked to people and kind of like gotten things moving, kind of greased the wheels so that we can just kind of get right into it.
Yeah, probably.
So you guys head up to the top. Besides Resh Fular, the twin to the now dead tyrant of the Tyranata clan, and people from your family, are there any other notable NPCs that you all invite? I assume that you guys' boss, Goesatara Sorrow, is invited, and anyone from your family is invited because, they're kind of in on the deal of, hey, let's not turn Ferris in.
If Manami promises not to murder me, you guys can invite him.
I think Manami should go. I can keep him on a leash.
Yeah, I feel like Ash and Mountain should get an invite.
Has Mountain even met the Big Resh?
Yeah, at the big meeting where we found out we were broke.
That's true.
Mhm.
Up to y'all. I just think Manami should be there.
Manami, Mountain, anyone else from the Baronato family? Like the big wig there, or anyone else?
All right, here's the question: is Ferris going to be disguised during this whole thing or not?
I don't believe that she is.
All right, less is going to be better than more.
Did Balar have any notable cohorts or relationships?
That Ferris is aware of, besides the people that you guys have already mentioned, specifically Ferris and Ferris's sister. None that you're super aware of besides the other captains, like Goesatar Saro, Baronato Jalin.
But like he wasn't married or anything.
No, he was not married. Okay, so then Manami, Mountain, the rest of you guys' stuff, and then so you guys all go up there. At some point, everyone goes up. Everyone and the NPCs get up there, and those who are not of your specific family are informed of what's going on and are let known that this is basically like, yo, we are putting whatever beef that we have like aside. We are making sure that our boss's spirit is laid to rest, and if you cannot agree to those terms, like, there will be trouble. Yes, to let you know, Chris, yes, that is exactly it. The two people from outside of the clan who are going, well, three people from outside of y'all's family who are going to be there have basically been informed, like, you are not to mess with Ferris. There will be trouble if you do. And they have agreed to those terms. You all take the elevator up there, where that a funeral pyre, a smallish one, has been set up with Resh Balar's dead body on top of.
Riki kind of steps forward. He's maybe a bit more put together than normal. No fresh bruises or anything from scrapping out in the streets or anything. He's kind of kept, And he turns to everyone present and says, Reshbala, you're a pretty good guy. I think a friend to us all in one way or another. And I think for the sake of his memory and for any future dealings with the soul, I think he needs to be interred, or rather disposed of, in a way that is befitting, respectful, kind, and knowing. And I do not think that I myself can provide that to the fullest extent. So I ask who he is continued on by his sister, Rush Ferris, to come and say some words as I guide her through the act of final rest.
So if we're going off of Riki just kind of throwing this on Ferris, he would probably, first of all, of her like doing it herself.
I'll guide you through it, but pretty much. I would have probably told you on the way there.
Okay. She would still look surprised and like she wasn't quite prepared for this. She would, walk up near the body and just look at him or between Balar and Falar. She wouldn't look at anyone else. She would just kind of glance between the two of them. and she would talk very highly of her brother, tell a few stories of when they were younger, talk about how much she looked up to him, say a few more comforting words towards Pilar, but like about Pilar, and then would allow Riki to kind of walk her through the process. She has definitely got tears rolling down her face, but still trying to like hold her head up and kind of give a notion of I'm okay, but not really, if you know her.
After that, if I may get a little theatrical with it, Brendan.
By all means, I am always here for the drama.
Ricky has like a small little stack of it seems like a quickly burning tinder. It's like a fluffy, frothy looking type of like kindling, as well as what's basically a torch, but it's very ornamental and there's bits of copper and very very respectful and fitting looking. And he kind of simply, you know how as one would blow on embers to kind of stoke a fire, he does that to this kindling that is unlit, and it slowly catches, but then very quickly becomes a gently crackling flame. And he takes it in his hand and kind of just like shakes it and blows on it some more as one would to start a fire, and clamps it around the torch that sticks to it. Has like some tar on the end. It just catches, and he, in a grand swooping motion, like kind of takes a ceremonial step towards Ferris and arcs it across the air, the open air of the top of the skyscraper, and holds it kind of uh, by the handle in one hand and kind of on top of his hand in the other, like a sword. And he calmly bows and presents it to Ferris. You got this, kid. You'll be happy. And hands it to her.
And with that, she would just kind of you handed her the kindling, right, to like lay it on the body.
Yeah, it's on a torch, so it's effectively a torch that I'm handing you.
Okay, so with that, she'll nod, say thank you. She'll probably have like beckon Falar over and have them both put their hands on the torch to light it. And she would whisper goodbye to as she and Falar put the torch down.
As you and your older sister put the and you whisper goodbye, she kind of does the same thing. The rest of the other people there, the matriarch Sorrow is keeping a straight face, but it looks pained. Mountain is sitting down and like hugging his large knees and is just kind of bawling into his arms. And Manami is looking guilty, upset, stressed. He is kind of he did kind of have a problem. That he did kind of cause some problems for you not too long ago. And as that you guys set fire to this pyre.
Did you say anything about how Sorrow is acting?
Yes, she is trying to keep it together.
Got it. Okay. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on everybody.
And as that you guys set fire to this pyre and the body is consumed, any trinkets or little bits and baubles or offerings to the dead that you want to have thrown onto the pyre to send him off into the afterlife would go on there. And in that process, as that the smoke billows up towards the sky of Chiaroscuro, there is the soft sigh of release from the spirit of Reshbalar. As those of you who look skyward can for but a moment see the calm smile, the calm but strong smile of the latest tyrant of the Tyranata clan. And as that it looks down upon those who helped him pass on, he kind of disappears into the wind of chiaroscuro, like so many clouds and dust before him, as the spirit is sent off towards the underworld and towards Leth.
In a final act of solidarity, Divine's going to pretty much spend the rest of the night using his minor control of the winds to keep the pyre burning as high and bright as he can until the sun comes up.
For those of you who saw the ghost of Reshbalar the other night, it is haunting to see him yet again so soon. He is just as you saw him not a few hours ago, but there's something off about it. You're seeing a ghost. And whatever you saw last night, maybe it was just how dark it was. But whatever you saw last night is much more solid.
I mean, I was able to grapple it, so it's definitely solid.
Which is not something you should be able to do without certain occult charms.